which really might be sort of a symptom of the pandemic. Have a listen to this, because it's a recording of a video call between a boss and 900 of his employees.
I come to you with not great news. The market has changed, as you know, and we have to move with it in order to survive. This isn't news that you're going to want to hear, but ultimately it was my decision, and I wanted you to hear from me. It's been a really, really challenging decision to make. This is the second time in my career I'm doing this, and I do not want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. This time I hope to be stronger. If you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group being laid off. Your employment here is terminated, effective immediately.
For the record, the man you heard was Vishal Garg. He's chief executive of the mortgage firm Better.com. The 900 people made up an estimated about 15%, might have been a bit less, of Better.com's workforce. Mr. Garg also failed to mention that SoftBank, the Japanese firm and key investor, had just put $750 million into the company. Now, Chris Roebuck is Honorary Professor of Transformational Leadership at the Bayes Business School in London. I suggested to him, as somebody had to say it, there was no easy way to fire 900 people. At least it was a clean break.
Yeah, it's certainly a clean break. The problem is that the impact on people of having a break like that, in terms of there being no warning, there being no consultation, and effectively, because this happened in the US with a slightly different set of labour legislation, means you have no recourse.
What about legally? Do you think the man is safe? I mean, of course, we're talking about specific laws in the United States, but he also accused people of being lazy, of working 2 hours and claiming money for 8 hours. Does that put him in a risky situation, do you think?
In terms of the actual getting rid of that many people, within the US laws, he's perfectly entitled to do that legally. It doesn't mean that he should do it morally, but obviously, certainly within European and many other countries, this is completely impossible. It would be a legal disaster for him to attempt to do anything like that in those countries. But you made the comment about accusing staff of poor work. Fundamentally, that flips it back on himself, because if these people are performing poorly, why are they performing poorly? Are they performing poorly because he selected the wrong people? Are they performing poorly because they are not being supervised in the right way? Are they performing poorly because there is poor leadership? And each of those three comes back to haunt him. What I find staggering is that after these people were sacked, he effectively admitted to those that were left that he'd over-recruited in the pandemic.
What about the people that are left? What effect would it have on them?
I think that anybody who had any sense, who was looking at this guy's performance, would be saying to themselves, okay, let's just stick with this for now, but at the first possible opportunity that I have to jump ship, I will, because next time it could be me without any notice, and I would rather take the decision myself in my own time rather than have it forced on me at a time that wasn't of my choosing. But if you look at his organisation in terms of what he's done to his own brand, why would people say, oh yeah, I want to sell my house, and I'm definitely going to sell it through that nice guy that just got rid of 900 of his staff?
Do you think it actually would affect business? I mean, on the other hand, one could look at it and say this is a man, decisive, who's okay, ruthless, but a man who knows what he wants and goes out and gets it.
Yeah, but I think in terms of the classic entrepreneurial behaviour, we take all these risks, we just go for it, etc., etc. But at some point in time, even if you're a pushy entrepreneur, you need to think about what effect your behaviour is having on the stability of your organisation and its brand in the market. And one of the fundamental things that you and I, Jamie, have seen with people who have moved from entrepreneurs into a situation where their organisation has got significantly larger is that they cannot stop being entrepreneurs and behaving in that way, and they cannot change to being a leader, which then puts the creation that they've worked so hard to do at risk because they can't make that transition.
That's Chris Roebuck there from the Bayes Business School of London.